There we go.
Yeah. So here we go. It looks like Neolution Esports
Radiant
is going to be
team
on the
ban.
Radiant team, and they're going to have the first pick. We'll see what they decide to pick, what they decide to ban right now. General trends have seen 6 main heroes be the bans in the first banning stage. Those 6 heroes being the Nyx Assassin, the Darkseer, Magnus, Batrider, Undying, as well as another kind of niche ban in the Lone Druid or the Keeper of the Light.
But here
And
we
this
see
is a
Rubik.
hero that we haven't seen in the first
Dire
banning
team
stage at all. This could be the beginnings of a sort of pocket strat if they want to use some sort of strategy with heroes that don't want to have to deal with that Rubik, maybe an Enigma.
Maybe a Magnus, I would say. I think this is just an attempt to force
Radiant
Orange
team
into
ban.
banning that Magnus. And if they don't ban that Magnus, then they can get the Batrider. Or they can
Dire
get the
team
Magnus, sorry.
ban.
But this kind of forces Orange to choose between, well, Magnus and Batrider. We'll see
At the
what they
same time,
decide
I mean,
here.
they don't have to choose, right? This isn't a choice they have to make, in the sense that they can ban neither. They can go for a
Yeah,
more
of course.
slightly unorthodox ban and an Undying, for example, and then just trade those two borderline overpowered heroes one for one. I don't want to call them completely overpowered. They are definitely 2 of the stronger heroes in this version, and a lot of top teams have noticed that as well and has been banning them quite adamantly. Anti-Mage is going to be the ban.
Radiant team pick.
You know, just a hero that can really slow down the pace of a game, as noted by Rattlesnake actually playing it in a couple of rounds ago. It doesn't matter how far you're behind, as long as your anti-mage plays properly, split pushes well, you can drag out a game to 60 minutes and onwards and make it harder and harder for the other team to come and kind of push into your base.
And you know, this anti-mage ban tells me that they think Neolution are gonna take Batrider so they can get Magnus
10
for themselves.
seconds
Because we often
remaining.
see anti-mage picked as a counter to Magnus. Because you can put that
5
anti-mage in the
seconds
solo in
remaining.
the safe lane to go up against that Magnus. And 1v1 he will actually do very well. And there we go, Batrider. And they take the Magnus.
Radiant team
Yep,
pick.
Magnus, Keeper of the Light, 2 heroes that are really, you know, just very spammy by nature. You have the Shockwave from Magnus, as well as the Illuminate, both kind of Shockwave type spells that just do a large amount of area damage in the team fights. Also really strong in the early to mid game. It looks like Enigma is going to be a really early pickup, as well as the Phantom Lancer in the end.
Dire
The Phantom
team
Lancer might have been a pickup just to make sure that Orange wouldn't be able to play it, in the sense that a Keeper of the Light and a PL lane, you know, that's been popular since
Yeah.
early 2009 with the dual lane there. I've even seen it in the mid lane, and it's just a really strong lane altogether. Picking up the Enigma this early, though, kind of opens up how they want to play the lanes. Could be a bit risky.
Could be a bit risky. We've seen most teams that when they pick up Enigma, they actually have to
10
face an
seconds
aggressive
remaining.
Thailand. And an Enigma against an aggressive Thailand doesn't do too well because he doesn't give
5
too much
seconds
support
remaining.
in that jungle.
I mean, not only that, but if your dual lane's going to be
Reserve
Phantom
time.
Lancer and a support, and you're up against a Keeper of the Light already, and
Yeah.
maybe even more, like in an Undying that could very well be picked up right now, that's going to be a really tough issue to deal with. Of course, we might see the Enigma in the long lane and have a safe lane tri lane to deal with that potential situation. So nothing's really set in stone yet for either team, really, but it could be the beginnings of a little bit of worries from Neolution.
Yeah. Seems that Orange aren't really sure what they want to do here. And, I mean, that's pretty common when you have that last pick before the second ban phase. You don't really know where you want to go, and if you can get that kind of strong hero through the second ban phase, or if it's going to get banned out. So you don't know if you want to pick it, or if you want to let it go and then pick it up later. And they do take the Vengeful Spirit against the Enigma.
Radiant team ban.
Yep. You know, this doesn't really highlight what they're going to do in their lanes either. They can still go for a relatively strong aggressive tri lane. It looks like Void is going to be the ban. They were probably watching last game. You know, excellent Void performance coming out from Orange against Pacific Esports in round 4 to bring them on to the next round. Also a hero that, you know, you don't want to have to safe lane a safe lane Void up against a safe lane PL.
Especially not with that
Into
Magnus
2v1
support
lanes.
either. Like, just providing that heavy cleave damage is very hard to deal with in the Chronosphere.
Mhm.
And with that big teamfight ultimate as well, he's just a really good combo.
Yep, for sure. Something interesting to note, Shadow Demon hasn't really been picked up at all. We see a lot of teams play Shadow Demon as a kind of answer to the Phantom Lancer. What
10
beats a lot of
seconds remaining.
illusions of your own. So, but neither team decides to pick up that
5
hero in the end.
seconds remaining.
Just to highlight, the semifinals as well of GosuCup Asia are a best of 3. Round 7 and round 8 effectively are best of 3s, and then round 5 and 6 are still best of 1s. We are in round 5 of the GosuCup Asia. Luna going to be another ban. This is pretty interesting. It's kind of just like really strong hard carries that still have the potential to kind of be in a solo safe lane. Those are the general heroes that you see being banned right now for Neolution.
And we see the Shadow Demon banned out here by Orange, and I think that's interesting because that kind of tells me that they probably want to pick up a BKB-centered carry. Sort of like a Sven or maybe a Lifestealer or... Yeah, I guess that's them. But a Sven would do really well here, I think.
Yep, not only do you have the command aura from that Vengeful Spirit having an extra 36% damage bonus, but if you're banning a lot of BKB influence supports, and you have a Sven just going ham on your team, it's going to be really tough. In that sense, I wouldn't... I think it'd be interesting if they go something like a Bounty Hunter as well, just to get some track movement speed up for the Sven once he has his BKB, because he's going to be cleaving hard. That is, of course, if they do decide to choose this hero in the end.
Neolution might not be too worried about the Sven pickup, considering they do have the Battle and the Enigma, but I mean, Enigma won't be able to provide that black hole most of the time because of this Vengeful Spirit. That Vengeful Spirit is going to be sitting back all the time, just waiting for that black hole and swapping him out. Vengeful Spirit also does very well against Batrider for the same reason, actually.
Just waiting on the last ban for Neolution Esports. This is the last ban around right now. If they are going to continue in the tradition of their second ban phase, they are probably going to pick another hard carry to ban. Maybe like the Lone Druid, for an example. They do ban the Sven. Really smart ban choice here. As you had mentioned, Sven would have been a really nice addition to the composition of Orange. And just, you know, they don't want to deal with that. It does well against the Phantom Lancer illusions as well. Just get it out of the way now. I'm glad they didn't ban the Lone Druid as well, just because Phantom Lancer does quite well against it.
Yeah, he doesn't really struggle against Lone Druid, because he kind of comes online, not earlier, but he can deal with it. Like, he's a hero that actually has a decent mid-game, Phantom Lancer that is. And Lone Druid's strongest side is the mid-game, right? He pushes so fast, but when you have a Phantom Lancer split pushing, you're gonna have to back off most of the time.
5 seconds.
I had asked yesterday if Asian teams had adopted the PL regularity that the European teams as well as North American teams had adopted, but we hadn't really seen a Phantom Lancer until this game, really. So I'm interested to see how they decide to play this hero without like a standard support that you see alongside it, such as the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah. We're just waiting on this last ban from Orange right now. Yeah, just eating up all of it, really. Ooh. We have seen Crystal Maiden a lot, actually. We have seen Crystal Maiden a ton this tournament. She's kind of seeing a resurgence in popularity.
Well, it's only been one team that's played it. It was Pacific Esports being having played it twice at the same time. That might be because they're a little bit used to the Dota 1 kind of feel of the Crystal Maiden. She hasn't seen as much popularity in Dota 2 as she had in Dota 1, unfortunately. But, you know, the two heroes, it's pretty interesting. The two heroes that, the two supports that have seen the most popularity in Dota 1, the Vengeful Spirit as well as the Crystal Maiden, are both either banned or picked in this game.
5 seconds remaining.
I think Neolution are probably gonna pick their support to go with that Phantom Lancer in this lane, and then saving their mid pick for last. If that Batter isn't in mid, that is, they could actually be running that Batter in mid and having a solo long lane pick as last. Batter, of course, goes in either lane.
Yep. Generally, we will see the Batrider in the mid lane for the most part. We do see a lot of teams, of course, as you mentioned, run it in the long lane. I'm trying to think of the different supports I would like alongside that Phantom Lancer. I think a Lina would be relatively strong. Maybe even as unorthodox as it has been in the past couple of months, a Shadow Shaman. They need something, though, that will be able to protect the Phantom Lancer in the case of an aggressive tri-lane that would come out from Orange Esports. You made a really good point, Crowlell. Thanks for making that point. They're probably not going to pick a BKB carry, if only because Batrider and Enigma are still in the draft, which are two heroes that do very well against those BKB carries.
The only reason you would pick up a BKB carry in this game is to bully that Phantom Lancer out of the lane. Typically, BKB carries have the ability to go into the aggressive lane, and that would do very well against the Phantom Lancer here.
I really like this Leshrac pick. Not only does it do very well as a support, just the amount of area damage you can really dish out with an Enigma Black Hole will help a lot. And even for the
Radiant
tower
team
pushing
pick.
with his Edict, Shadow Fiend being the pickup here, that's pretty interesting.
And
We
I
saw
have
it
to
a little
imagine
bit
this is
before.
for their mid lane. It could be in the safe lane as well, but typically we don't see Shadow Fiend in the safe lane, I guess, unless there's a jungle or a roaming supports, because he does need experience, pretty heavy experience.
Yeah, another thing about Shadow Fiend is that, we saw it yesterday as well. The Keeper of the Light as well as the Shadow Fiend. Keeper of the Light's
10
able to
seconds.
just
10
stack a
seconds
lot of the jungle
remaining.
camps in the meantime. So it doesn't really matter if Shadow Fiend doesn't
5
win his lane
seconds
100%. He can always go into the jungle and just clear some creep stacks with Shadow Raises to get his farm back up. But that's a
Reserve
really
time.
ballsy pick if he's going to go into that mid lane. Batrider is just known especially as one of the really hard counters to a Shadow Fiend in lane. So if they're going to run that mid against the Batrider, you have to expect some sort of way, additional way to
10
deal with the
seconds
Batrider just
remaining.
jumping on the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
Venomancer.
Venomancer picked up here as the last support, so that kind of tells me Enigma's going to be in the long lane, unless Leshrac goes into the mid lane. We've seen that as well, but I would have to imagine the Batter is going to be in the mid lane here.
More than likely, yeah. That kind of just starts to wrap up Neolution Esports lanes, hopefully. Most likely going to see Enigma in the long lane and Bat in the mid, as you had mentioned, as well as maybe a safe lane tri lane with the Phantom Lancer,
10
Leshrac, and
seconds
Venomancer.
remaining.
That's a really strong lane. I mean, the only thing that's
5
slightly
seconds
worrisome is that the
remaining.
only stun in that lane is going to be Leshrac on his Split Earth. However, at the same time,
Reserve
I mean, you
time.
have a lot of nuke, you have a lot of
10
slow.
seconds remaining.
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster going to be the
last
final
pick.
pick.
So, where does that put us with the lanes?
It's most likely going to be Beastmaster up in the mid lane, and then having a safe lane tri lane with the Shadow Fiend playing a harder carry, which is what I like. I mean, I didn't really expect the Shadow Fiend to match up head to head against the Batrider in a 1v1. So what do? They're probably going to lane it in the safe lane, get as much farm as possible, get a relatively quick, maybe Shadow Blade, maybe a BKB, and then from there just kind of escalate their team fight with the Magnus ulti, with the Shadow Fiend Requiem of Souls.
Let's go over the teams here quickly. Starting on Neolution.int, we have Ninja Boogie, or Captain Mike, playing that Phantom Lancer. Han players might know him. He used to play on Duskbin Esports, I believe. We have Hardchico playing that Enigma. We have Lei playing that Batrider in the mid lane, most likely. We have Fox playing this Venomancer, and Blah playing this Leshrac.
On the other hand, we have WW playing the Shadow Fiend, Extinct on the Magnus, ABC playing the Beastmaster, who played a really nice Leshrac earlier, so he's most likely going to go onto that mid lane,
Yeah.
as he was the Leshrac mid in the previous game. Levin up on that Vengeful Spirit, and finally Lakuchi on the Keeper of the Light.
While we're paused, I'm just gonna point out these couriers. We have a regular frog courier from Orange Esports here, and we don't even have a courier on Neolution, so I can't actually compare them. So I guess Orange win this game, right?
Yep,
The courier
1-0
war.
couriers.
1-0 couriers.
But alas, it's only because of the pause, of course.
It's only
Don't worry,
because of
guys.
the
Don't
pause.
worry.
They will get a courier, of course,
Yep,
unless we see
um,
some very specific strategy here.
Something that I've seen that I've noticed as well in these brackets, I'm pretty sure Neolution has played Phantom Lancer every single round so far that they've played. And Boogie has been playing that Phantom Lancer to great effect. So they're really comfortable with that hero. Comfortable enough to pick it in the first round as well of picking.
And it looks like we are ready to go here. Both teams given the green light. Beastmaster just starting with the magic stick, and typically you see this when he expects to go up against a Batrider, and he is correct this game. Just magic stick is so good for dealing with that sticky napalm spam. Oh, sorry, wait. Screen can't move.
That's a pretty interesting issue. I feel like your screen has to move to be able to play Dota effectively. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing that they paused. Screen can't move. Whoa, that's a very interesting starting build on that Batrider. He might actually end up selling it, but this is kind of this does not seem like a mid lane build. It seems like a jungling build.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth. In that case, we could see the Leshrac going
The
mid.
Leshrac is actually going for a somewhat of a fast bottle build. Not really, but he has saved some gold, so...
Yep, so it is going to most likely then be a dual lane in the bot lane, having a Venomancer as well as the Phantom Lancer. Good thing both those hero names rhyme as well. Just kind of flows off the tongue. The Venomancer, Phantom Lancer. And then having the Leshrac in the mid lane, which we saw Orange themselves do, and they did it quite well. We'll see what the Batrider decides to do, though. I mean, with his fast boots of speed, he can get a really quick Tranquil boots as well. But we'll see.
We could see the Batriders going into the long lane with the Enigma jungling. I mean, we're kind of unsure on what hero is going to go where, but one of them is going into the jungle. That's what we can say for sure here.
You're actually right about that. It might be the Batrider in the long lane. One is long, one is jungle, as you had mentioned.
Oh, turning around. Oh. See, Courier picked up
jungle.
Speed Demon. We have. Alright. Just wanted to point out the
jungle at like incredibly fast rates. That's something to notice.
Yeah.
It looks like Batrider is going to. Oh, what's he doing?
Oh, pulling
dropping the
Tango
tangles
onto
for the Enigma.
Leshrac.
He's probably going to use his Firefly relatively early here, just kind of clear up the trees so that he's able to do double stacking as well as double pulling from the easy camp as well as the hard camp. This is a really nice way to get just 2 stacks at the same time with a minimal effort. Another thing you can do is if he kills the right trees here, he is going to be able to pull to the mid lane, and it looks like he is killing them correctly, so.
Those are the trees he has to kill, and that's how he'll be pulling, most likely.
No, he can still do this, actually. He can do this as long as he killed the trees that he did. Because
sure?
there is still a straightforward path going into the lane. Yep. You just need to be able to stop and have the creeps attack you to draw a little bit of aggro from your lane creeps. So this is okay.
Oops.
We'll see, the haste rune is
actually picked up on his Vengeful Spirit, and that's gonna mean trouble if this Enigma shows himself. We see this ward right here. He's gonna learn to go on this Enigma whenever they decide that he's being too aggressive.
There's a reason you don't see Enigma in the offlane too much. It's really hard. If you get ganked, there's literally nothing you can do to escape. What you can do, however, is use your demonic conversion on your creeps just to try to pull the creep wave back a little bit. Unfortunately, no wards blocking the pull spot means that the creep wave could very well stay in the same place for quite a long time for the Dire.
And this is what you have to stop from happening on this top lane. You can't let Enigma even get one conversion up, because he can just bully this Vengeful Spirit out of lane with those conversions after that. You want to keep him up to his creep wave, if possible. Of course, he is going to be able to convert his own creeps, but you want to keep him down on the gold level as well.
Yep, I agree. Make sure your Dota TV is working. Apparently only one of us is being able to be heard. I think I'm okay, but it might be me. It might be because of this headset, actually.
Oh, looks like the audio threshold is reset. Maybe that's why. Should be better now. I turned open mic on and off.
Okay, cool.
Or off and on,
We'll make
I
sure
should
that's
say.
working for you guys. However, Enigma's going to hit a relatively quick level 2 because of the fact that he has been pulling the creep wave back by denying using his demonic conversion. So that's always good for him.
We'll just see this Magnus bullied out of lane. I mean, yesterday we saw this Magnus hit a fast level 2 for that shockwave spam, but that's not really going to happen this game, although the lane is pushing very hard right now. Venomancer having to dip down to help with the lane control here. And that's going to be a free level 2 for the Magnus. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him from getting this.
Not so.
Yep, and of course now the nuking begins. There goes a Gale as well onto that Magnus, just as much harassment as possible. Unfortunately, his Stout Shield isn't really proccing during those 2 attacks, and he's already down to near half health. Forced to use a Tango. Regen rune being the first rune of the game spawning onto that bottom, of course, besides that initial haste rune picked up by the Vengeful Spirit.
And this Beastmaster doing very well in the mid lane. 12 and 2 up against the 10 and 1 of Leshrac, but also getting the runes. That's important to note here, because the runes are going to be very important, especially against the Leshrac with the bottle. That means the Leshrac is going to have to bottle Crow.
Yep, not only that, but it's also a regen rune, which is painful. Okay, hopefully Dota TV has now fixed. Just let me know in the chat as well. I'll be able to make some modifications. Enigma doing pretty well though, but at the same time so is Magnus now. Magnus hits level 3 in the offlane. That's pretty important. I mean, considering... Oh man, that's actually really unfortunate. The fact that he got no last hits there under the tower. He's still sitting at 0 and 0, but he is level 3 compared to the Enigma, who is getting there. Keeper of the Light actually deciding, you know what, I want to put a lot more pressure on this Phantom Lancer, decides to come down and spam his Illuminate. And the Shockwave spam begins as well. But he didn't take too much damage. I mean, Phantom Lancer already has his Tranquil Boots, so it's going to take quite a bit to get him away from lane.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the damage taken from the Leshrac. He's only at about 150 health now after that bottle. He was probably around 40 health with the spam. And of course, as we'd mentioned before, Beastmaster picking up the rune, the 2-minute regen. Nothing has ever happened to him, you know? Like, we can just ignore all that damage Leshrac did to him. Unfortunately, we can't say the same about Lesh, who's most likely going to have to either get the next rune or Bottle Crow.
He is going for the creep clearing build, which is with the lightning. So he could actually contest the runes here, but it's still hard. You see how hard this Beastmaster is just pushing up the lane in the mid.
Yep. And look at that, the 4-minute rune. Once again, Beastmaster doing a great job in controlling, forcing the Leshrac to Bottle Crow. But right now, the Crow is being sent to the base, and he's already at less than half health. So this could be an opportunity that the Beastmaster might be able to take as soon as he hits level 6.
Not for you.
Still waiting for the first blood in this game. Not really seeing any aggression anywhere because both teams are fine with just sitting back and farming, waiting for their optimal time to push later on.
Yep. Relatively passive, but at the same time, there has been a decent amount of movement. The Keeper of the Light deciding, you know what, I want to do more against this Phantom Lancer because my Shadow Fiend's doing pretty well. But if you take a look at the CS, actually, hold that thought. Looks like Vengeful Spirit's going to go get off her stun. Are they going to be able to get this kill? Looks like maybe one more raise. He's going to get it. The first blood onto that Shadow Fiend. The hard carry for Team Orange, and that's a lot of money. They're kind of stuck here now, though.
Yeah, kind of just have
There
to
we
wait for this lane to push up.
Radiant's top tower
Able to get out
is under
safely
attack.
without taking any damage from the tower.
Nice stun from the Enigma, actually. Shadow Fiend's taking a lot of damage now. He's actually going to go down to
Radiant's
about
middle
250
tower is
health.
under attack.
And
We missed a kill in the mid lane as well
Yep,
on this
yep.
Leshrac.
Beastmaster hit 6, as we mentioned. He used his ultimate as well and got a kill on the Lesh. So Beastmaster, just a really solid performance from coming out of him. Normally you see Leshracs being the pushers, but the tower for the Radiant's already at half health on the mid lane compared to the full health tower for the Dire.
And Beastmaster might actually be in trouble here. Oh, he does go down! Very clutch lightning usage.
Your desolation.
Yeah, that's for
and
sure.
the world's are
Now, the
one.
hero we've kind of neglected to see, really, is this Batrider. He's sitting at level 5.5 in 6 minutes, which is quite a bit. Sitting at 1100 gold as well, but he is forced to go back to base to heal up. If he decides to stay in the jungle, he's probably going to hit level 6 at around 7 minutes or 7.5. It's not optimal, but it's quite quick for a Batrider. Oh, looks like Phantom Lancer actually killing the Keeper of the Light. Skewer back by the Magnus, but he doesn't really have mana to continue this. They are going to use the Phantom Lancer's Spirit Lance onto the Magnus. And it looks like they're trying to get a turnaround onto this Lesh. Is Lesh going to go down? Oh my god, great usage there of Lightning Storm. Once again getting the kill and living with barely any health. Great play there coming out
Radiant's
from
bottom
Neolution.
tower is under attack.
Although they did give the first blood, they're off to a pretty good start on this bottom lane. Oh, looks like the Roar is actually going to come off, and easy pickup for that Beastmaster. Beastmaster's just showing this Leshrac who's boss.
Yeah, he wanted the revenge kill earlier. After getting even, the Leshrac kind of decided to go bottom, pick up a kill, and the Beastmaster doesn't like that. The Beastmaster is gonna follow him around, and he wants to kind of show him that, hey, I want to have the same game impact as you.
Yep. And with those two roaming mid lanes, actually hold that thought. It looks like on the bottom lane, they're going to get a Venomous Scale onto this Keeper of the Light. He's going to try to eat through the trees to juke, but Venomancer gets the last hit. Not sure if that was necessary. I think they could have left the last hit for Boogie there, playing that Phantom Lancer, but a last hit's a last hit. A kill's a kill.
Oh, look at top lane.
Meanwhile, on the top lane, they are going to try to go on this... Oh man, he misses the Split Earth and tries to dodge around. Is he going to be able to fog juke? Oh, misses his actual initial raise. Does a lot of damage as well. The lightning does a lot of damage too. But Batrider comes in from the side, pushes away the Shadow Fiend and gets an easy kill there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A couple of missed raises though.
Yeah, and also missed Split Earth. Kinda Perhaps a spike in the server. Or maybe just a misplay.
Double damage rune spotted onto the bottom by that Dire Courier.
Dire's top tower is under
They pinged it
attack.
as well, but it looks like Venomancer in the end might get that rune. Yep.
Just to deny it really from the Beastmaster. They don't want Beastmaster hammering on a raw target with that double damage. Because he does hurt, he does a lot of damage, especially with that bench sitting next to him.
Fortify being used onto the mid tower. It's actually in deny range right now. I'm not sure if they're going to go for it. They should go for it right now. Yep. And with that double damage Venomancer, they will get the mid tower denied, which is always nice.
Enigma has hit level 6 here, and that's a fairly fast level 6 for an offlane actually. Having that black hole available to him, and he's going to use it here, I think. Oh, no, he doesn't go for it in the end.
Yep. He lost all of his Eidolons there. Shadowfiend decided, hey, more money? Awesome. Just uses 2 of his raises and clears out the Eidolons. Smoke gank up onto this bottom lane. They're trying to catch this Phantom Lancer out of position. Oh, he uses his Doppelwalk while the Beastmaster was mid-roar, and he manages to escape there from that smoke gank. However, they are looking to transition maybe into taking this bottom lane tower. The score is, of course, 6-3. We're sitting 9 minutes in. Relatively even farm on both of the main carries, for the Phantom Lancer as well as the Shadow Fiend. A pretty even game so far. The difference in gold is actually 1,000 in favor of Neolution.int, just based on the fact that they do have a higher amount of kills, of course, as well as the Batrider jungling.
Is under attack.
4 of them grouped up to take this bottom tier 1 tower on the bot lane.
And this tower is going to fall relatively quickly, but what this does is it kind of pushes the lane back into the Radiant's favor, as weird as that sounds, but this Phantom is going to have a very safe lane to farm in now. It's going to be much harder to gank him and kind of put pressure on him at this point.
While Neolution is ahead right now, what could become an issue in the end is the fact that they don't have much map control. They've lost 2 towers already, and it doesn't look like they're making any grounds to take any more additional towers for them. Mid tower is still quite full, bottom tower is still quite full, even though it was their 3v1 lane. Well, 2v1 lane because of the Batrider jungling, and top is very full as well. So really the grounds to
oh, look at mid!
Gain map control. Oh man, are they actually going to get this? The roar was used, of course. Venomancer using his heal, but it is a haste rune. He is going to pop his ultimate beforehand, though, just to do a little bit of lasting damage.
Look at the bottom lane right here. The Phantom is going on his Magnus, but his Magnus is going to be able to TP out safely.
That is a lot of damage to be dealt, honestly. Considering that all he has is Tranquil Boots and Drums, he's doing 130 damage per attack.
Oh, hold use on the Shadow Fiend on the top lane.
Yep. They are going to get the kill as well. An Illuminate being sent out by that Keeper of the Light, trying to do some damage, but doesn't actually kill anyone in the end. They're both forced back, but, you know, pleased with themselves at the fact that they did kill that hard carry once again. Shadow Fiend now sitting at 1 and 2.
A lot of action in a very short time right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just in every
check out
single
his gold
lane.
per minute, actually. Even though SF's died twice, he's still relatively close to that Phantom Lancer. So is the Beastmaster. Beastmaster at about 40 more gold per minute than his mid counterpart, the Leshrac. Things are still really close. That's the thing I'm trying to get across right now. I mean, the gold is relatively even. Experience is slightly favoring because of the fact that they did have the additional jungler on Neolution's side. But it's still a close game. Magnus picking up his Arcane Boots now. Look at this bot lane. 2 TPs actually being sent out when the Shadow Fiend comes down. They are going to use the Roar on the Venomancer. Oh man, is he going to be able to kill the Shadow Fiend with the illusion? Doesn't look like it. And now Phantom Lancer's forced to run away. His Doppelwalk's on cooldown. Running for his life. Run, run, run. Oh, snipes the Hawk with the Spirit Lance there while he continues to run away. That's some animal cruelty right there.
Call PETA someone.
And looks like 4 down onto this bottom lane while the split push occurs from the Keeper of the Light, trying to make some ground onto this tier 2 tower on the bot lane.
Is under attack.
Like, in terms of the game plan, it seems like just the heavy push is kind of throwing Neolution off. Even though they're slightly ahead in terms of kills, it's 7-5 now to that bottom engagement. That's an aggressive TP.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to go on that.
Yeah,
but
so did I.
I think if they had the Keeper of the Light, they may have decided to go on that, just because of a large Illuminate Blast. It's level 3 right now, so that's 400 damage. Unfortunately, they didn't have him.
This Keeper of the Light is doing his job though. It's not like he's sitting somewhere farming. It's that he decides to counter push top. That doesn't want to give away that map control.
I mean, not only that, but it is kind of ideal for him to be farming right now because he is the mech carrier for his team.
Oh, yeah.
He already has his buckler if he so chooses to bring it on the courier. But a quick mech is always helpful. Oh, Batrider has finished his Blink Dagger. He's going to blink up into the top lane, get that onto with his ultimate as well. Nice split Earth too, but Magnus decides to skewer. Is he going to get his ultimate off? He barely misses it. Roar going onto this Leshrac as well as the Wild Axis. Keeper of the Light doing damage as well. Nice stun from the Vengeful Spirit to clean up that kill. Batrider running for his life right now. Wild Axis. Oh, excellent swap though, coming out of that Vengeful. And they're going to get the kill on the Batrider as well. A 1-for-2 exchange.
Under attack.
Wow.
Wow. Pretty interesting
That was
trades
a
up there.
great swap. Great swap.
Dire's
They realized that
bottom
the Wild
tower is
Axes were
under
on
attack.
cooldown still. So they decide, you know what, we need to do what we need to do. It's a relatively low cooldown as well, sitting at only a 45 second cooldown.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And this might not even be a tower trade. That's the important part. Keeper of the Light might decide he wants to TP down onto the bot lane and spam Illuminates.
Radiant's top tower
Oh, the Gale is
fallen.
going to hit the Shadow Fiend actually,
Dire's bottom
but
tower is
doesn't
under
look like they
attack.
can do anything about that. Everyone's really scared on the bot lane for Neolution because 3 heroes are missing, and they know the Shadow Fiend is bottom, as well as the Magnus.
But the Batrider is TPing in here, and he almost has the Flaming Lasso up, and when he does, I think they're going to be able to find a quick kill on the Shadow Fiend before he can react.
Yep. They know that the Batrider has a dagger now, though. Oh, however, 10 seconds still. He doesn't have his ultimate. That's something pretty important. Actually, Shadowfiend going to use his ultimate to not do great effect. Excellent reverse polarity from the Magnus, as well as the Raze is doing a lot of damage. Shadowfiend is going to go down now, and the Batrider ultimate, the Flaming Lasso, is up for for Phantom Lancer to pick up that easy kill. So that was actually quite favorable for Neolution there. The fact that Phantom Lancer did not die and got a
Dire's
couple of
top
kills
tower
as well.
is under
He's sitting at
attack.
303 now and looking very
Dire's
comfortable,
structures
closer
are
and closer to his
fortified.
Diffusal Blade.
And it is interesting to note that he is going for that Diffusal Blade rather than the Radiance build. That means that he wants to be able to fight in the mid game rather than in the late game. He kind of wants to be a fighting hero rather than a split pushing hero.
Yep. Well, some ground is being taken to secure these two towers now. The bottom lane and the top lane for the Dire, both looking pretty low. Still not in the deny range yet. Oh, excellent swap actually. Oh, but wow, that's so unfortunate. He must have misclicked because they did have vision of that Phantom Lancer under the tower. Fortunately for them, the tower is under deny range if they so choose to deny it. However, they are pinging the defense of the mid lane right now. Phantom Lancer as well as Enigma trying to head up the front to do some damage there. Look at this Illuminate. It's going to do a lot
Radiant's top
of
tower
damage.
is under attack.
Oh, the Eidolon
my
is
god.
gone. Oh,
that was
wow.
almost Phantom Lancer going down. Is he going to use his skewer for this kill? Nope. Decides
Doesn't even need
a
to.
clean shockwave kill. That was a blind shockwave as well. Nice play.
Oh, almost a roar here on the Beastmaster. Or on the Batrider, sorry. From the Beastmaster. But he decides against it.
He does have a haste rune actually. Batrider could look to engage right now middle with that haste rune.
Dire's
If he
bottom
blinks in,
tower has
Flaming
been
Lasso
denied.
someone and just runs as far back as possible with the remains of the haste, he could bring them pretty far back into his team. But there is no team backup, of course, so he isn't going to do something so suicidal.
I'm looking towards this bottom lane here. I think the Phantom Lancer and the Enigma are gonna plan a
They
gank
do
on
actually
the
try to
Shadow
get
Fiend.
that blink Lasso, but Vengeful Spirit was there to get the swap off to cancel the ultimate. So all for naught. And in the meantime,
This
bottom
fight
lane.
is over for you.
Black Hole was not used on that kill, but you know, it's another kill on that Shadow Fiend. Although he does pick up the Shadow Blade, he's 2 and 4 right now. Not only that, but it's another kill for the Phantom Lancer. He's getting closer and closer to this Diffusal.
Keeper of the Light does have his mechanism up right now, which means it's gonna be harder to teamfight against this Dire side. And I mean, they already had a very good teamfight, so they might look to get some action going.
The thing is, at what point do you say, uh-oh, we're giving the Phantom Lancer too much?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna have to gather up at some point, and they're gonna have to actually put pressure on this Dire side, because Phantom Lancer does a ton of damage in the late game against the Shadow Fiend. Even with the AoE from Shadow Fiend taking out the illusions, then eventually those illusions just get too tanky.
Yep. You know, something interesting to note, although Phantom Lancer seems like he's doing very well in terms of kills and deaths and everything, ABC actually has the highest gold per minute in the game right now on that Beastmaster, and he's sitting at 7 and 1. He's gotten every kill. He doesn't have assists. The kills are all his. Greedy.
Just saving those axes perhaps for the kill. They're gonna go for a Roche here, and I agree with that.
He actually finishes Aghanims as well, so look for a lot more initiation and a lot more 5-manning coming out of the Dire squad.
They just have so much to deal with this Enigma when he eventually does pick up a BKB. Even if he even does.
I think the ideal situation for them is using the Venge swap to just stop the Batrider ulti from going on ASAP, because as soon as he gets swapped, then the ulti gets cancelled, and then using the Beastmaster's Roar to cancel that black hole.
That is what the ideal plan is.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 major ultimates down for the Radiant side, if those things go ideally there. Massive amount of pings coming out. They know that they're trying to get this Roche down.
Oh!
Excellent Roar, because of that additional range from the Aghanim Scepter. Are they going to get this kill on the Venomancer? Doesn't look like it. And an army of Phantom Lancers.
Yeah, just pushing the Dire side back right there. They decided they don't want to get mana burned. Oh, he doesn't actually have the Diffusal Blade on him. It's in the stash.
Yep. That's actually quite important. He could be doing so much more additional damage output if he had that Diffusal Blade on him. Unfortunately, the Courier is being used for... Let's see, what does it seem to be? It's most likely going to be a Vit Booster, maybe? For the Leshrac? No, Perseverance. He's going to complete that Perseverance. Leshrac, of course, going for that Bloodstone. Excellent last hit there from that Phantom Lancer on the tower, TPing out right away, but that's a really risky TP, because that kind of opens the gates for them to go the Dire. This is going to be a 4-on-5, actually. It looks like they're trying to... Oh my god! PGG Black Hole gets swapped to cancel it anyways. Looks like a Roar comes out onto that Batrider as well. He's going to go down. Enigma's getting really low, as well as the Leshrac. A triple kill now for the Magnus while he skewers in.
Coming in from behind, just out of nowhere, really.
Man, that was such a strange play coming out of Boogie. I have no idea why he decided to TP out in full vision of the Dire. As soon as he TP'd, that was immediate cue for the Dire to say, oh, perfect. It's like, great, thanks so much. We can fight 5-on-4 now. And that was just a cleanup. The only person going down was, of course, that Beastmaster, but he did his job.
He does have his Diffusal Blade right now, and going for the instant upgrade before using any charges. I mean, I agree with that. I think you don't really get the Diffusal Blade on Phantom Lancer for the Purge. I mean, it's just a neat bonus, isn't it, really?
I don't think I agree with that, actually. I mean,
Really?
it's around 750 extra gold, which could be about 400 gold from a Vit Booster. And at the same time, those Purges, if you have a large amount of illusions, one Purge is just a kill on someone. So, I don't know. I mean, it gives you additional damage, as you had mentioned. But at the same time, I mean, if you're seeing someone one-on-one, and you purge someone with at least 3 illusions, they're going to have no mana, and they have no way to escape. Of course, at the same time, we might not be seeing many one-on-one engages. It's most likely going 5-on-5, in which case Purge might be a little bit less useful. So, there are reasonings for both ways, I would say.
There's not really much to purge on this Dire side. You can't really purge a Roar. You can't really purge a Reverse Polarity. So, perhaps he's just looking for the extra damage.
Yep. Shadow Fiend now at 2,000 gold. We'll see if he decides to go for Black King Bar or not. Meanwhile, the Bloodstone has been completed for this Leshrac. Even though they're not doing so well in team fights, he still has a relatively early Bloodstone, which might help them in fights. Mechanism also finished on the Enigma, so they're going to have a lot of burst heal. 1 with the mech, and 2 if Leshrac goes down. As as unfortunate as that would be, he would be helping his team with an additional burst heal.
It's interesting to note that his Roshan actually hasn't gone down yet. The Radiant side are very much so keeping an eye on it, because they want to make sure that they're contesting it. They don't want to give away a free Rosh to this very, very efficient Rosh killing team from the Dire.
Yeah, that's a really good point that you had mentioned. I mean, not only does the Wave of Terror do 4 armor reduction, they have additional armor reduction from the presence of the Dark Lord. So that's going to be -9 in total, as well as the Beastmaster's aura just for additional speed. I really like the combination of the 2 auras from the Vengeful Spirit and the Beastmaster. Just damage and attack speed. Their carry is going to hit like a truck, the Shadow Fiend. Deciding not to go for BKB, and instead going for a Manta style, what looks like it.
I really like that. I don't think he needs a BKB against this team, because the 2 stuns they do have, they go through BKB anyway, and they're gonna get cancelled out most likely, so
Yep.
he shouldn't ever need a BKB.
He would be able to Manta dodge the Malefice from the Enigma, so the only stun he really has to worry about in that sense would be the Leshrac Split Earth, which doesn't last too long, so I would agree with that.
Dire's bottom tower is under
We saw a
attack.
failed smoke mid right here. The Batrider scouting the entire team out and then blinking away safely before they were able to go on him.
Yep. Strong play from him then. Looks like they do want to try to go on with them, but they know. Orange knows. They know what's up. Good blink away. gem picked up on the Magnus, starting the dewarding. If you look at the Radiant's vision right now, they only have one ward into the bottom just to scout what is absolutely important for them to scout, which is potential entry paths into Roshan.
And they also have these two Venomancer illusions just scouting out every way they can.
So I think both teams are at a really nice point in time in their game. Although Batrider could have an additional maybe 4 staff, for example, the item progression is looking relatively similar. It's a really even game still. Less than 2,000 gold difference between these two teams. Yep, this is a really good job, just making sure that they scout out that there's no wards near Roche before going for it. However, they might
did
know
miss one,
Phantom
yeah.
Lancer TPs.
They did miss
But
this
look how
ward.
fast this Roshan's going down. Are they going to be able to actually kill this before the Radiant have enough time to regroup? It looks like it. Yep. Good play.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
That's a 24-minute Roche right there. And the Illuminate, just to make sure that there's no way that the Radiant can come in. Even though they do look like they want to engage right now, Aurora is going to go off onto this Batrider, and he melts instantly.
Before he can even
Phantom
use the
Lancer
Phantom
illusion
Lancer.
taking this Vengeful Spirit down, but he gets a stun off. Black Hole hits 4
Massive
heroes
black
right now.
hole.
Excellent ultimate as well from that Phenomancer. Shadowfiend can't even use his ultimate. He's going to go down. He does have the Aegis, however, but everyone's kind of really close to him. They have a sentry ward as well, and he melts.
Oh, that's so
wow,
fast.
what a great turnaround fight coming out of Neolution, all on the back of that Enigma Black Hole. Perfect item progression as well from him, picking up that Blink Dagger. No one was there to cancel it. Great play.
And it can't.
Wow.
Oh, they didn't even use
As
the
soon as I
swaps
thought
fight.
that the Dire had a little bit of an edge with that Roshan, they turn it around. Neolution says, no, there's no edge here. We're going to kill you. We're going to take 4 down, and we're going to take a mid-tower.
And they get the gem from the Beastmaster kill because he used it to D-ward.
And on top of that, they get the Shadow Fiend's Aegis. I mean, what else could you want?
Dire's middle tower has
Besides a GG call, of course.
Of course, that is the last thing you want in this game. If you're Neolution.
Whoa, excellent reverse polarity. They're going to get 2, the Enigma as well as the Lestrak, and bring them into their base. This is going to be a fight in the middle of the Dire base. Magnus goes down instantly, though, as well as a Purge being used on this Vengeful Spirit. She's taking a decent amount of damage. Swap into this Illusion, actually, but Batrider blinks in. They're going to try to go on this Beastmaster. Beastmaster is going to go down. Keeper Light doing as much as he can, but he can't really do anything. Spamming pings on
Heavy
his mid-tower to do
pings.
as much damage as possible.
And that's
Wow.
a typical Phantom Lancer for you, isn't it? He just wants to push and push and push with those illusions.
I mean, that was a straight-up fight in the middle of the Dire's base when most of them were healthy, and when it started with a reverse polarity from the Magnus,
Dire's
and they
bottom
still went
tower
0
is
for 2
under
there.
attack.
And also getting some heavy damage down to this bottom tower. With that Edict and the Phantom Lancer there, this is gonna fall really fast.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Phantom Lancer now sitting at 4,500 gold. Before we were saying the Beastmaster had a high gold per minute, he's gone down to 4th, and now the Phantom Lancer is, of course, at 1st place. Shadowfiend doing a decent job. He's going to have his Manta style finished, but, I mean, they've lost the past couple of teamfights in a row, and that is pretty scary. Pretty scary if you're an Orange fan, at least. But, of course, some really great teamfight coordination. Even though there's 2 stuns that go through BKB to cancel that black hole, Enigma had a massive black hole for the fight win there on that bottom near Roshan.
It's interesting to note that he didn't actually catch the Vengeful Spirit in that black hole, but the swap was used on something else. It wasn't available. The Vengeful Spirit just had to run. She just abandoned her entire team right there.
I mean, if I'm the Dire side right now, I'd be kind of at a loss for words. You have a really good squad to deal with the composition of Neolution.int, but at the same time, you can't really... You gotta be really skeptical because you've just lost the past couple of teamfights, and one of them was in your own base. Look at that spike now, 7,500 gold in favor of Neolution.int. I mean, what looked like a really even game for the first 25 minutes now is starting to get a little bit more favorable for the Radiant. Magnus sitting at 1,000 gold on top of that Blink Dagger. Beastmaster as well has just picked up an additional Vit booster for survivability for now.
And we see a smoke up going up at the Dire secret shop here.
Mhm.
And they're just gonna go and sit behind this Shadow Fiend while he baits perhaps some action down on the bottom lane. They're confident that they can take a team fight if it happens.
Dire's top tower is under
Yep.
attack.
Meanwhile, this Phantom Knight is just gonna be looking to split push this top lane, I think. With all
Yep,
these
great item
illusions.
progression from him. Going into that heart now.
Of course, the Keeper of the Light is just gonna illuminate and all these illusions are gonna pop. But they're so tanky now.
Dire's
Yeah.
top tower is under attack.
And look how fast that tower is going down. Not only that, but Leshrac is there.
Yeah. They aren't taking the bait on this bottom
Dire's
lane.
top tower has
It's going to be
fallen.
interesting to see if they decide to try to put more pressure onto this top to force TPs, because there is no fortification for the Dire, so they
Radiant's
are going to have
bottom
to try to
tower
defend
is
this
under
if they decide to
attack.
continue. And it looks like
Dire's
Neolution
top
wants to
tower
continue.
is under attack. Radiant
There you go, here come the
structures are
TPs.
fortified.
Batrider TPing onto the bottom. He actually decides to cancel now. Do they want to look for a 5-on-5 engage? The black hole is up for Neolution International.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Look how much damage the Edict is doing to that tower, and no one wants
Look
to
at the
engage on
mid
him.
lane.
They're so scared as well, yeah, wow. The split push, they're going to take 2 towers down.
Top tower
Wow.
Dire's middle tower has
And it doesn't seem like Orange have what it takes to deal with this double split push now. Vandalites are going to town on this bottom. Still no fortification though. And as soon as he goes... Oh, looks like a Blink Dagger as well as a Force Staff onto that Beastmaster. They were trying to get him onto the low ground, but a nice swap. And then the huge ultimate, that massive black hole as well, into a reverse polarity to try to stop that black hole. They're actually going to try to go onto this Batrider as well. Batrider is going to go down. Magnus running for his life as well as that Shadow Fiend. Excellent kill there by the Leshrac too. Is Magnus going to go down? Nope. Looks like he's going to stay really low. But the Phantom Lancer is alive and healthy during all of that. They're going to take a mid tower because of this mid Rax. Even though it was a relatively even fight, the fact that the Phantom Lancer lived through all of that
Dire's middle
really
barracks
means that they get 2
has fallen.
Raxes out of it. And they start to work on the bottom tower.
Dire's top barracks
And-
are under attack.
I mean, they're losing 2 lanes of Rax right now. This is a nightmare situation for Orange
Dire's
right
top
here.
barracks has fallen.
Wow. Those black holes have... Oh, man. That flash just melted, but his Edict is... Oh, man, that was so close. His Edict almost got that range Rax.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Bottom tower is
Dire's
going to go down to
bottom
Boogie
tower
here.
has fallen.
He wants to do as much damage as possible, but you know what? He's being safe for the moment. Wow. This Enigma has been on his A game after that initial kind of interesting black hole.
Dire's bottom
They're going to take the
barracks
melee
of
racks on the
Dire's
bot lane and
bottom
continue now
barracks
onto
has
this
fallen.
range racks. There's only one more range racks left on the top until mega creeps have been accomplished. It's 22-19 for Neolution, relatively even in terms of kills. But you know what? The Phantom Lancer has proved too much for Orange squad, and they're going to go down to Neolution. Great game coming out of Neolution Esports.
See nature's blasted core.
And of course, this was best of 1, so they're gonna advance to play. I'm not sure, the winner of Senate versus. No, that can't be. Can it? I'm not.
No,
quite
not
sure.
yet, not yet.
I can't really remember what the bracket looks like.
It's the winner of Swag, who had actually taken out Phantoms beforehand. We had seen them yesterday, as well
Phantoms
as
were quite impressive, I would say.
First VN HCMA, a Vietnamese team. Excellent play though coming out. I mean, this Enigma really on his A game with his black holes. He was just waiting for that swap to cancel the Batrider ultimate, and then he blinks in so that he catches the Beastmaster as well. So the Beastmaster can't roar the Enigma, so he can get off his full 5-second black hole. 4-second black hole. My apologies.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Great play.
Yeah.
I would
I
say
mean,
the one thing that might necessarily that they could improve would be the mid fight, where they had lost. It was like a 1 for 4 because of the fact that the Phantom Lancer had TP'd back to base
Yeah.
in full vision of the Dire. That would be the one thing for improvement, I would say. But besides that, in terms of the actual setting up for fights, they played very well.
Dire's top barracks has fallen. The Radiant now have mega creeps.
You will never take
And that's the game.
Victory.